Many of you out there have been wondering, with the Russia-Ukraine conflict, what is going to happen with cyber warfare? Is this something we need to have on our radar? And how can we potentially protect ourselves against it? Matt, do you want to talk about the news from yesterday and today?
Yeah, so obviously this is a rapidly developing situation, not something that we can say is completely set in stone yet. But there are some developments coming out of that part of the world right now. ESET and a couple of other high-profile antivirus and research companies have flagged where, similar to some previous cyber attacks, which we'll talk about in just a second, there has been a massive increase in the amount of attempted cyber attacks within the Ukraine at this point, and the finger is being pointed outbound to several other neighboring nations. Belarus and Russia are two of the ones that kind of come to the front of mind. But what we're seeing is the use of a very destructive type of malware called a wiper, and this is something that will traditionally look like ransomware in what we see as the traditional kind of ransomware sense, with a ransom note on the screen and all the other stuff that goes along with it. But on the back end of systems, it is just annihilating data, and in some cases, it's actually nuking the MBR, or the master boot record, on computers, making gaining access into those systems really difficult, if not impossible, depending on the level of destruction of the hard drive at that point. So again, this is a developing situation. There is new information coming out basically hourly at this point, and we'll be sure to keep everyone up to date on what we find.
Yeah, and what we all have to worry about is getting hit by the shrapnel. This has happened before. For example, you may remember NotPetya. NotPetya looked like ransomware, but later it was determined that it was actually a modified version of the Petya ransomware that was targeting the Ukraine, and it was designed to simply destroy files, destroy systems. So we call it faux ransomware. However, this didn't just end up hurting the Ukraine. Whenever you have cyber weapons, there can be innocent victims that are hurt by it. So Merck actually was hit by NotPetya and suffered at least $870 million in losses. FedEx was taken down, $400 million in losses, and many, many other organizations. So the good news is there are ways that you can protect against this. And in fact, the same things that we can do to protect against ransomware and business email compromise will also dramatically reduce your risk of getting hit by any kind of tools that are used as part of cyber warfare. Thank you so much, everyone. Again, this is Sherry Davidoff, CEO of LMG Security.
And I'm Matt Duran, Director of Training and Incident Response for LMG Security. If you have any questions, please reach out at any time. We would love to hear from you. You can reach us at info@lmgsecurity.com, find us on LinkedIn, and follow us on Twitter. Thanks again for joining, and we'll see you next time.